While we're talking about champions and dominance, we'd be remiss to not talk about what's going on Friday Night SmackDown. It's official. The Usos now the longest reigning champions in WWE history. Let me ask you, Kevin Patrick, from where you sit, are the Usos the greatest tag team of all time?
From where I sit, and I come at it from a slightly different perspective, as you know, because I'm a relatively, new-ish comer to the industry. I'd always have an eye on WWE throughout my youth, but I was never following it as closely as you were. I come at it, and for me, and I go back to the backstage element too, and I go to the storytelling. The Usos and the New Day, it's very hard to separate because in-ring ability, storytelling, they're both out of this world. And you often say to me, watch a match and look for the story. And I'll have notes written down and I'll prepare, but when I look for a story, the Usos tell an unreal story during a match. Am I right or wrong? When you look at Jey Uso and his body language throughout a match, is there anyone better right now than Jey Uso when it comes to storytelling?
I think what we can't lose sight of is what the Usos have accomplished. I mean, when the New Day did it, it was a huge deal. It seemed like a record that might stand forever. But the Usos have truly hit their stride, and we're talking about attention to detail. Jimmy and Jay are those guys. When it comes to every move, every head turn, every look that Jey Uso shoots at Sammy or his unsure with Roman, there's so much happening all the time. I will say it. For my money, in my opinion, the Usos now own the crown of the greatest tag team of all time. And I say that with respect to all of the great tag teams of the past. At the end of the day, you can look back and everyone will argue this is a subjective business. I'm not saying I'm right about this, but in my opinion, I'm a little biased. I love those guys. They're great friends of mine. I'm proud of what they've accomplished. Thinking back to what the Usos have gone through, what they've endured in just their tenure, and you got to give credit to the New Day because the New Day forced the Usos to step up their game. That is, without a doubt, I will argue on this one, the greatest tag team rivalry in history, I would say. The New Day and the Usos. It's been years long. They keep raising the bar, and then they set the bar, and then they snap their own bar. They just keep going, and it's such an awesome rivalry and a relationship. And I feel like one day, when the New Day gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, which they will, and the Usos get inducted into the Hall of Fame, which they will, I would bet money they will be thanking one another because this relationship and rivalry has blossomed two of the greatest tag teams. I still put New Day in the conversation. And I'm an old school guy where when people ask who's the greatest of all time, I like to say, who made the most money? Well, I mean, let's be honest. Jimmy and Jay, they ain't hurting for paychecks these days.
It's such a subjective question, though. It really is. And you going back to your youth, when you get lost in it as a kid, who was it for you? Was it Demolition? New Age Outlaws?
I get I mean, keep naming them. Demolition, I love the Legion of Doom, the New Age Outlaws, the Hardys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys. I mean, there have been so many great tag teams. There's one right there, the Dudleys. The Dudleys have held like every tag team title on earth like 4 times. Yeah. I think they have the most title reigns of any tag team in history. So does that make them the greatest? Maybe. I would listen to somebody make that argument. I would listen to Bubba Ray tell me why I'm wrong. Yeah. But it's impossible to say for sure, but in my opinion, just what the Usos are doing right now, the whole bloodline, it's all just magic. So yes, Jimmy and Jay, hats off to those guys. And looking back into the past, some of the greats, I mean, there were days in the territories where you had like the Fabulous Freebirds that would sell out. And you ever get Michael P.S. Hayes going, trust me, he won't hesitate to tell you all about it. Selling out the Superdome. You got to give respect to those guys. It's a different business, is what
British
I'm saying.
Bulldogs.
You know, as far as modern era, right? There's so many to pick from. Great tag teams who put on great, and it is. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Mm-hmm. For me, I'm dining at the Uso buffet every day of the week, bar none.
Yeah, and it's helped that they're part of the bloodline, and there's something so unbelievably infectious about the bloodline right now that it just unbelievable TV. To kick off Friday Night SmackDown with that match was electrifying. And I got lost in that match, Graves. I'm on the edge of my seat, and I had no idea which way it was going to go. Genuinely, I was torn. I'm like, are the New Day going to win this? Are we going to see something here where they snatch it late from the Usos? It wasn't to be, and they tried everything. Everything. Kofi had some of the best expressions that I've seen in a long time. He just looked devastated that no matter what he threw at them, they couldn't get over the line. And the Usos, their resilience on show, and in the end, Get it done. Well done. Congratulations to the Usos. Officially the greatest tag team in WWE history.
I completely agree. And it goes back to like what you were saying about what we were talking about moments ago about Rollins and Balor. The ability to get lost. That's why I speak so highly of the Usos and the New Day. I've called too many of those matches to remember. And I just remember loving all of them. And much like you, I was sitting on my couch in my freshly decorated Christmas-themed living room. And I was watching SmackDown. And just like you, I didn't know how it was going to end. I hate that for myself. I can usually I can see things coming a mile away. And I'm watching this, and I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm biting on every near fall. And I'm going, oh, my God, oh, no. I felt the roller coaster of emotions. And for those guys to be able to do that to me, not only when I'm sitting live ringside, like when you and I get to do it on Monday nights, but I'm in my home, in my living room, and I'm still feeling all those kind of emotions, and that's the level of skill that both the New Day and the Usos brought to that matchup. Bravo to both of those guys. Congratulations to the Usos.
Like what you hear? Catch full episodes of After the Bell on Spotify. Follow us now and never miss an episode.